Yes, I'm gonna leave it on.
I'm reading something on my other screen here anyway, so
But
I'm just gonna.
I already started recording already.
But you're on audio, so talk to me then.
Okay. I just wanted to tell you. Uh, well, so we've got Caleb Berner, 62, and he's here with us today. And we're talking about, or we were talking about Bernie and Trump. And well, first of all, I came home and I asked him, so what's going on with Bernie? And he told me what?
Well, the situation with Bernie is that he's still in the lead in New Hampshire, but the situation with the Iowa caucus apparently has put a little bit of momentum behind Pete Buttigige. All that they're running around claiming victory apparently made him look more viable to some people, and he got a boost in his poll numbers at the most recent polls in New Hampshire. So this could shape up to be a much closer race if he gets better support. But it should also be pointed out that among minority voters and first time voters and stuff, that Bernie Sanders is crushing it. 43% non-white voters. You know, that that's just incredible numbers.
Hmm.
And so the movement that he's building is really very diverse, a diverse coalition of all kinds of people from all walks of life, everything except billionaires. Uh, but he's got a few billionaire fans too, apparently, because one of the participants at the debates, Tom Steyer, who's also a billionaire. He looks like a Bernie Sanders fanboy.
Oh, really?
He's always just uh, fawning over him and Bernie, I love Bernie.
Oh.
It's funny. It's like a billionaire fanboy. He just wanted to beat Bernie, so he ran a campaign. It's funny. Everybody jokes about how ingratiating he is, towards Bernie. Like, it almost seems like he's just happy to be in the same room with him.
Oh.
It's cute. It's really adorable. Everybody just just teases him about it.
And who is this? What's his name?
Tom Steyer.
Tom Steyer?
Yeah, look him up.
Okay.
And he's he's running on a platform of I think environmental reform, and
Okay.
so Bernie's doing that too. So he's not really against Bernie, but he's a billionaire, so I think he wants to do it a different way. So maybe his taxes don't have to go up. But
Oh,
yeah, but
nice.
but overall he's a nice guy, and he's got a positive a positive feel to him. He's a good guy. He just he just happens to be running against somebody much better, more experienced, and more determined. And the guy's driven. Bernie. He's the guy that came up to Bernie after that debacle with Elizabeth Warren when Elizabeth Warren was telling you called me a liar, and that's the guy that came over at the end and says, he goes, oh yeah, okay, fine.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, now the thing about this situation with Bernie, I heard something about, or we talked something about the New Hampshire debate. I do have a video, and I wanted to show that. It's from the Young Turks. Um,
Right.
so I'm gonna go ahead and play that.
This debate had a couple of things in it that were important. One is hashtags, obviously. Hashtag 40 billionaires. Those are the folks supporting Pete Buttigieg. Hashtag I'm that guy. Or no, I'm the guy. That's Joe Biden in half his answers. I'm the guy who did that. You understand me, brother? Okay, I'm the guy. He looked like a pro wrestler. Okay, woo!
What you gonna do
when the Biden mania comes down on you? And then, of course, our new favorite show, starring Amy Klobuchar, soon on the Young Turks Network. Who does that? Okay, so those are all in this debate. But overall, getting serious, Bernie Sanders was fired today. I thought this was his best debate. Clear answers, sharp answers, on the attack. Not only great devastating points against people like Buttigieg saying, hey, you're getting money from 40 billionaires. Who does that? Anyway, but some of his best answers on healthcare, more clearly explaining it. At the end of the debate, the pundits on television come on and pick a random moderate, like, oh, today going with Klobuchar, today Buttigieg, etc. And after every debate, they do a poll, and the people almost always say Bernie won. I think that they will say that even more overwhelmingly in this debate, because he seemed to be the one guy above everyone else who was fighting for the average American, while everyone else was jockeying for position on their political careers. Oh yeah, I'd like to honor the senators from New Hampshire, right? No, it's a time for this moment to meet that other moment and shake its hand. Oh, I'm the guy, right? So I thought it came across more stark in this debate than any other, that there's one guy who's for the people. That's Bernie Sanders. And I know the moderators spent the first 60% of the debate framing every single question against Bernie Sanders.
Oh my God.
I mean, they asked like 7 questions in a row about how could anyone named a Democratic Socialist ever win, right? How come they never asked this very simple question? How could you guys be moderate Democrats and expect to beat Donald Trump, who last time beat a moderate Democrat? Aren't you by definition unelectable? They never, ever asked that question. Instead, is it true that Bernie Sanders is unlikable? Is it true that he's a Democratic Socialist? And all of us millionaires agree that that person shouldn't win. Later, the moderators had a couple of interesting and tough questions, including for Buttigieg. So there's a little bit of redemption at the end, but the first half of the debate was atrocious. Every question framed from a conservative perspective.
Yeah. The fact that they went on for what felt like, and I think might have actually been 20 minutes of literally one formulation of another of, oh yeah, also you say something about Bernie. Go. You hate Bernie, right? Bernie's the worst. Now move on to him. The idea that like the continual just not only attack Bernie, but I want you to attack democratic socialism and democratic socialists. We acknowledge, we keep saying we want young people to be involved in the Democratic Party. DSA's numbers are exploding. Tell them all why they suck and why they're gonna ruin this entire thing for us. How stupid and self-defeating, except for the short-term political interests of the people who are trying to get Biden or Buttigieg to win. I mean, and the thing is, I understand that Bernie's the front runner, obviously, by every metric, and especially by Iowa as well. But Buttigieg, he did very well in Iowa as well, and they got around a little bit to him. He had possibly the single toughest question, but it was like an hour and 20 minutes in. If you only stuck around for the beginning, and a lot of viewers will, you thought the purpose of this was to destroy Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Well, obviously the right-wing framing of the questions is something I take as a given in any of these debates. But what I'm almost disappointed at ABC News, because it's not just the right-wing framings, it's just that we've heard these exact same questions at every single other debate. Like, let's come up with some new ones, guys. Like, let's come up with some new right-wing framings for some new questions. But like Medicare for all, how are you gonna pay for it? Like, we've heard that 5,000 times already. Like, we've had maybe 12 collective hours of debate on the question of how you're gonna pay for Medicare for all. And what I love about Bernie and what makes him such a formidable candidate for me is that he never concedes the premise of these dishonest questions. When politicians do that, They always get in trouble. And that's something that he never does. Like when they're like, socialism, that sounds an awful lot like Stalin's gulags. Your response. And then he's like, then he just talks about whatever he wants to talk about. He doesn't take the bait.
Yeah, I actually thought David Muir's questions was a new Republican talking point. General Soleimani is irradiant and dangerous. Are you saying you wouldn't have killed him? Would you have kept him alive? Which he asked about 7 times in a row to every candidate. We're like, okay, Dave, I got it. What you want to do is a commercial for the Republicans so they could say, aha, Tom Steyer would have kept Soleimani alive. Okay, and it's just, are we ever going to get a debate where a question is framed from a progressive perspective? In a Democratic debate? The answer is obviously no.
But there's a huge upside to it that I didn't even see coming until this particular debate. I think that it's prepared Bernie Sanders in a way that any other type of debate preparation couldn't get him ready for, right? So he is so used to this type of framing and how he needs to like reframe the question before he could even answer the question that was posed to him. And so look at him in this debate. I mean, look, he's done okay in the previous debates. This was definitely his strongest performance. And I think it's because he came in swinging, he fought, he didn't wait to go after Pete Buttigieg. He went after Pete Buttigieg and the fact that he has 40 billionaires funding his campaign without having to the thing about Bernie that's been frustrating up until this moment is that he doesn't ever attack first. He waits until he's attacked and then he goes after the person attacking him, which makes him look defensive. But no, go on the offense, go after them. You're the best candidate up there. You have the cleanest campaign. You're not funded by the billionaires. All these people up here, have their giant Achilles heels. So like slash it further, go for it.
I only disagree with
Can I just say,
His car.
Yeah.
So Anna's show is going to be called Slash It Further.
Yeah. The only thing I disagree is about makes him look defensive, maybe. But I think even people who don't like Bernie, I think some would admit that he's a nice guy. He doesn't try to make it dirty. I think, and I think he has earned that reputation. I think Donald Trump always calls himself a counterpuncher. It's not. He throws the first punch. He punches to the crotch first. But Bernie really does wait. But in the past couple of weeks, it's like initially it was like Warren's like, okay, I'm gonna knives out for Bernie. And now all of them are. Buttigieg is attacking him. Tom Steyer was talking about socialists in his ad. And I just wanna say to them, you morons, he's going to shred you on the debate stage because he's gonna call out all your donors. He doesn't do it, he wasn't doing it to individuals before, he was doing it in general, but he will do it to your face. He'll talk about your billionaires and you are gonna look so bad right before New Hampshire. What a stupid move for them to make at this time.
Well, it's a stupid move, but I think that they were taking advantage of the fact that he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And they were
anymore.
exactly
He's
though.
free.
They were gonna continue doing that. And I think that tonight, he taught him a lesson. He taught him a lesson. Look, when you have the dirt on your political opponents, why not use it, especially when they've been like jabbing you left and right? And the Elizabeth Warren thing that happened, that was an incredible.
Hi, got a small favor to ask of you. Please add your name to say you support our campaign. A campaign which is the most unprecedented campaign in the modern history of this country.
All right.
Yeah.
See that bright brain full of activity? That's
So
a
we
healthy
got
18-year-old
commercials
brain.
happening now. Anyway, let me turn
Mine
that
is the other one.
off for
55
a moment,
years old and
video
getting
wise.
dimmer all the
Hold
time.
on, or
I had a
volume
million
wise
excuses
anyway.
for my
And look, I can even turn off the video for a moment. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the other one, which I had was Trump. Now Trump has a stupid video that is so annoying. Look at this.
Did you see the one that I sent you on? That I sent you on WhatsApp?
Oh no, I'll get it right now. Let's see.
It's a prayer, a request for.
Oh, it didn't
For
go
Donald Trump.
through. A prayer
what's that?
request. It's like going in circles, like it's not coming through. I don't know what's going on with my internet here.
Okay, well, let me tell you what it says. If I can find it here. It says, pray for Trump, Psalm 109:8. Now, if you look up Psalm 109:8, it will say, let his days be few and let another take his place.
Oh, that's
So
good. That's
somebody's
good.
trolling him with a biblical verse.
Oh,
Very cute.
so when I saw this video of Trump, his tweet, and it has Trump forever, I'm like, no, help, help. That's like my biggest nightmare. What is he trying to do? Scare us to death? Oh my God, he's crazy. And then he stands there all la la la. It's ridiculous. Have you seen it?
No, I can't.
God, it's hilarious. You got to see it. Look, I know.
I can't. I really can't. I appreciate you trying.
It's horrible. It's
Yeah, I know.
oh my
We'll
gosh.
stipulate he did something ugly and stupid.
Oh my gosh.
I will believe anything you say. He did.
Oh, it's hilarious. Okay. So
You know what else he did today?
what else?
You know the guy, Lieutenant Alex Vindman, that testified against him in the trial in the Mueller hearing.
Uh-huh.
They fired him.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
From where?
From the White House. He was a attaché, for the military.
Oh.
Colonel.
Wow. Well, he's
Anyway, it's a felony to take reprisals against a witness in a case. So I'm sure that the Senate is going to jump back and quickly impeach him, no doubt.
right. Oh, that's another thing. Now, how the heck did he get away with it? How the heck did he get away with it? You said they said that.
Numbers.
Okay, but
52 to 48.
okay, but he said, or they said that they thought he was guilty, but it was okay, or what was that?
Yeah, they said he did it, but it's not. It didn't rise to the level of a crime, quote unquote crime, or a misdemeanor.
Oh, that it didn't warrant. That's right. That it.
Right. That it didn't warrant a dismissal or impeachment.
Okay.
It didn't warrant the overthrowing the dutiful election of blah blah.
You know, the question is, if anybody else did that, like, say, I don't know, Obama, do you think they would have ever said, "Oh, that's not so bad"?
There is no end, and there's no limit to their hypocrisy. It is absolute and perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. So right now it looks like he might be running again forever. Is that what they're saying? And didn't they say that because they did that now he can run another term?
No, don't be ridiculous.
No, I heard something to that effect.
Of course they would. Of course, some dumb, stupid person would say something like that, but no. He can't run for a third term. Otherwise, Richard Nixon would have run for another term.
No, because they said something about. No, wait a minute. Listen. They said that because they tried to impeach him, that there's some kind of a rule.
That it resets his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said no, we're gonna, and I think that's what the forever thing is about. is that every time they try to impeach him, it extends his terms. So he can just keep doing things. They'll keep letting him go. It'll go on forever and ever. Oh my God, the nightmare. Oh gosh. So
Perfect, right.
right. Gosh. So well, so anyway, you said that I was looking for the New Hampshire thing to put up there. Let me see. Instead of the Young Turks, I want to put that other video. Let me see which one that is. That's this one. Okay. So let me see if I can find the New Hampshire one. So what am I looking for? New Bernie in New Hampshire. New Hampshire. What is that thing? Debate, right? Yeah. Democratic candidate face-off debate. 7 hours ago. That would be the one, probably, huh?
Tonight, a shakeup inside the struggling campaign of former Vice President Joe Biden. In a memo.
That's not the one, huh? They're so tricky. Okay. In New Hampshire, debate today. Come on now. Okay, victors in Iowa, Sanders, live analysis 3 hours ago. Was it 3 hours, 2 hours?
Yeah, probably.
Fox News, NPR, or the New York Times? Which one should I pick?
Go with Fox News. Let's see what they're saying.
All right, we'll do that one. Okay. All right, we'll switch it right here. Paste and okay.
All right, the day of reckoning for some key White House impeachment witnesses, bleeding over into tonight's Democratic debate. Let's bring in tonight's power panel, former Bernie Sanders national staffer Teslin Figaro, former press secretary to Vice President Pence, Mark Lauder, and Fox News contributor Guy.
Okay, they're going to give us lots of commercials first.
Sorry. We've got breaking news, and we need you on set right now.
This is actually the Fox Nation green room. If you're looking for Fox News, they're down the hall.
Fox Nation?
That's right, cowboy. Fox Nation is the new streaming entertainment service from our good friends at Fox News that celebrates America with in-depth documentaries, exclusive series, and more.
Awesome.
Start your free trial today.
The Eagle has landed.
All right, the day of reckoning for some key White House impeachment witnesses, bleeding over into tonight's Democratic debate. Let's bring in tonight's power panel, former Bernie Sanders national staffer Teslin Figaro, former press secretary to Vice President Pence, Mark Lauder, and Fox News contributor Guy Benson. Welcome to all of you.
Hey, Shannon.
Good evening.
Hello.
Okay, so let's talk about the New Hampshire primary poll that we had from WBZ, the Boston Globe, Suffolk University poll. Bernie Sanders at 24%, Pete Buttigieg at 23%, Elizabeth Warren at 13%. Joe Biden at 11%. Guy, did anybody change their position from those that stack tonight?
I don't think so. I think it was status quo for all four of them, which is generally pretty good news for Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg, who seemed a little bit more rattled once or twice than he has previously, but overall a pretty solid performance from him. Elizabeth Warren, who really, I think, had a disappointing, albeit third place finish in Iowa, she is swooning in the state that is just north of her native Massachusetts, so she needed to make a move tonight. She really didn't, and I don't really see a springboard or a firewall in the near future for her, so I don't really think that she did what she needed to do anything beyond her typical stump speech, basically, and a bunch of her answers. It's not really, as I said, making a move. And Joe Biden, almost from word one, conceded the state of New Hampshire, and many of his answers tonight seemed calibrated toward looking ahead to South Carolina, which is his firewall, particularly African Americans. He wasn't subtle about it.
Yeah, and there was talk tonight about whether there's really fire behind anyone in this field or the field as a whole. based on what happened in Iowa, here is some conversation about that with Senator Bernie Sanders, who is leading in a lot of these polls these days.
Everybody up here, by the way, is united. No matter who wins this damn thing, we're all going to stand together to defeat that. The way we beat Trump is by having the largest voter turnout in the history of this country.
Back in Iowa, the turnout this year was about the same as it was in 2016, far below what it was in 2008 when President Obama won.
That's true, and that's a disappointment.
All right, Teslin, regardless of who ends up with the nomination, do you think the passion, the fire is there for Democrats to show up?
Well, you know, one thing for sure, people won't be showing up if these candidates don't figure out how to discuss issues of race when you talk about the black vote really pretty much carrying this Democrat Party. When a billionaire white man like Tom Steyer has to correct Andrew Yang, who's the quote-unquote only person of color on the stage because he doesn't understand the math between racism and income inequality, we have a serious problem. You know, that was deeply disappointing. Number one, Mayor Pete could not answer the questions on his issues with policing in his hometown. And again, Andrew Yang completely failed when it came to answering questions about racism. So I just want to make this very clear. We are sick and tired of the people of color gimmick. It shows that all people of color do not have the same philosophy, the same beliefs. And I want to be real crystal clear to Andrew Yang. You cannot just clap in black choirs like he did a couple of weeks ago, clapping in the black choir and think that we didn't pick up the message that he put down tonight. So there's a lot of cleaning up that they need to do if they want to do well in Nevada and South Carolina.
Mark, I want to toss this next question to you because there were two key players in the impeachment trial and hearings who were shown out of their positions today. It came up tonight. Here is what former Vice President Joe Biden had to say about Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Vindman got thrown out of the White House today, walked out. I think we should, at the same time, he should be pinning a medal on Vindman and not on Rush Limbaugh.
All right, so Mark, of course, I got a lot of inbox emails tonight from folks who say this is outrageous, it's retaliation, it's inappropriate, and it proves that the president has something to hide. Your response?
Well, absolutely not. And everyone who works in the White House serves at the pleasure of the president. And in this case, you have those two individuals, as well as the ambassador to the European Union, who were no longer serving in the best interests of the president of the United States. And so he moved on to move other people in those positions. As it relates to the two lieutenant colonels, they will both go back into DOD. They both have other jobs. They have not been fired. They just won't be working in the White House. It is a privilege to work in the White House, and your job is to advise the President of the United States to be able to make the decisions. You are not elected to make the decision. If you want to call the shot, put your name on the ballot, run, and win.
Okay, we asked all of you to pick your winners and losers tonight. I know that you've touched on them a little bit, but I want to quickly go through this in a little bit of a lightning round. And Mark, we'll start with you and work back. Winners and losers tonight.
Big winner, President Trump. None of the Democrats, except for Amy Klobuchar, could even denounce socialism. Wow. None of them would have taken out General Soleimani. They espoused American weakness. Loser, Pete Buttigieg. He looked really bad when he got called out on his record as mayor of South Bend.
Now, you guys, this is so sickening. Oh my gosh. Oh. I just don't know. I think I gotta find a different channel. Wow. It's really disheartening to see how corrupt our government is. And that whole thing, with that, I don't know, that thing, what do they call the caucus, where we really just don't get to vote. It just seems so.
Yeah.
It just.
Well, it's a weird process. It's kind of arcane. It was developed in a different time, in a different world for different people, and they're very reluctant to change things. There's something about continuity that comforts people, and with tradition, conservatism. That's what conservatism really is, It's holding on to things whether or not they work. Damn it,
Mm-hmm.
This was my father's, this was my father's belief. This was, and the thing is that some beliefs are really unsustainable.
I took a hit in Iowa.
Yeah.
And
Oh, sorry. I was trying to.
Okay.
I was trying to find another better one because I was not liking that Fox News one. That made me a little bit sick. Excuse me. Sounded very much like.
Evolve.
Yeah, like.
The world is evolving around us, you know.
Yeah. Quite dissecting thing. Okay, so let's see if it's gonna work with this as well. It's interesting how this program. Let me see if it'll let me play it already. I've got to set up something here. Oddly enough, it like each time it resets itself. It's very annoying. But I wanted to set up this video. It should allow me to interact with it. Okay. But there's no volume. Okay. All right. So it looks like it's not working that way. So I'll just play it this way.
I'll probably take it here. Traditionally, Bernie 20 points last time. With regard to Senator Sanders, the president wants very much to stick a label on every candidate. We're going to not only have to win this time, we have to bring along the United States Senate. And Bernie's labeled himself, not me, a Democratic socialist. I think that's the label that the president's going to lay on everyone running with Bernie if he's a nominee. And Mayor Buttigige is a great guy and a real patriot. He's a mayor of a small city who has done some good things, but has not demonstrated he has the ability to, and we'll soon find out, to get a broad scope of support across the spectrum, including African Americans and Latinos.
Is anyone else on the stage concerned about having a Democratic socialist at the top of the Democratic ticket?
I'm not.
Senator Klobuchar?
Bernie and I work together all the time, but I think we are not going to be able to outdivide the divider-in-chief. And I think we need someone to head up this ticket that actually brings people with her instead of shutting them out.
Is he going to be able to get the support?
With her.
Not if you like it, but is he going to be able to get the support that he needs from Republicans?
Okay. I like Bernie just fine.
So the biggest risk we could take at a time like this would be to go up against that fundamentally new challenge by trying to fall back on the familiar, or trying to unite this country at a moment when we need that kind of unification, when our nominee is dividing people with a politics that says if you don't go all the way to the edge, it doesn't count. A politics that says it's my way or the highway.
Are you talking about Senator Sanders?
Yes.
The way you bring people together is by presenting an agenda that works for the working people of this country, not for the billionaire class.
We had a moment the last few weeks, Mayor, and that moment was these impeachment hearings. And there was a lot of courage that you saw from only a few people. You said it was exhausting to watch and that you wanted to turn the channel and watch cartoons. It is easy to go after Washington because that's a popular thing to do. It is much harder, as I see Senator Shaheen in the front row, such a leader. It is much harder to lead.
I think we should all stand and give Colonel Vindman a show of how much we supported him. Stand up and clap for Vindman. Get up there.
Wow.
Who we are. That's who we are. We are not what Trump is.
We have not said one word tonight about race. Not one word. Are you kidding me? We have the most diverse party. We have a very diverse country. We have a very diverse party. The heart and soul of this party is diversity, black people, Latinos, AAPI people, Native Americans, and white people. But for goodness sakes, pull it together.
We cannot just say that criminal justice is the only time we want to talk about race specifically. We need race-conscious laws in education, in employment, in entrepreneurship, to make this country a country of opportunity for everyone, no matter the color of their skin.
I come, like New Hampshire, from a very, very rural state. In Vermont, until the last 2 years ago, we had virtually no gun control legislation at all, and I represented that perspective. The world has changed. In Vermont and in New Hampshire and all over this country, people are sickened by the mass shootings that we have seen and the gun violence that we have seen. The world has changed and my views have changed.
I don't know. It's just very frustrating. I'm
And
already.
meanwhile, earlier tonight, 2 Democratic Congresswomen,
Let's see,
also
another
deeply
Fox
impacted
News.
by their derangement syndrome, just could
Oh,
not bring themselves
Trump
to sit and
derangement?
listen to the president's speech.
Oh,
Yes,
let's
both
see that.
Alexandria
That sounds interesting.
Ocasio-Cortez, the real Speaker of the House, and Congresswoman Presley boycotted the State of the Union. They were missed sorely. Naturally, Ocasio-Cortez spent the night sulking on Instagram.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Senator Lindsey Graham
Oh.
tweeted, quote, "I can't blame AOC for boycotting the State of the Union.
Wow.
Must be painful for a committed socialist to hear the record of accomplishments regarding economic growth and prosperity we have achieved under President Trump. We will scroll them again as we speak." Joining us now with reaction, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham.
Wow.
You know, you're tweeting today.
they're
actually
so
retweeted
sick.
you.
Okay, I think I've heard enough. They're very. But anyway, it looks like Bernie's doing pretty good, and it looks like they're trying to distract from it. In fact, that's what they usually do. They'll say that so and so is in the close second or third, but they won't mention that Bernie's in the first, right, or something like that.
Yeah. It's always a framing.
Your mic went out. I don't hear you. Your mic is off. There we go.
How about?
Yeah, now.
Okay. So it's largely framing. You know, try to frame it in as you know, ugly a light as you can, and hope that nobody notices. You know.
Yeah.
Or you know what happens really? It's like a algorithm. It's like a number. You know, it doesn't change things very much, but just a little bit. Just moves the whole thing a little bit one way or another, and it just adds to the math that makes the whole thing roll one way or the other. So it doesn't. You can't really say that one thing or another is responsible for everything. It's just like the whole. It's like a you know, like a big gigantic gigantic. I would say like a blob of you know of something inside of a big giant bag, and everybody's just pushing it from different sides, trying to roll it in one direction or another. You can't just get on one side and push. You know, it's like everybody has to be all at the same time, kind of working it, massaging it, and that's kind of what this election feels like. It's like we're just everybody's just getting together. Everybody's putting their little bit in, and everybody's trying, and everybody's just giving what they've got, everybody what they can.
Yeah.
So you've got, millions and millions of people doing that, and then you've got one guy, Pete Buttigieg, just get together these 40 billionaires and say, let's get the money together, and we'll figure out a way around all these millions of people wanting these things, And that's what they're at right now, and that's.
But I haven't heard the debate, where it talks about. I wanted to see the one where it actually had, where he was talking about the billionaires,
Where he was telling Pete Buttigieg about his. No, I don't think I know where that is, but
okay,
he
so
talks about them all the time.
yeah, okay, well, that was no help.
One of his favorite subject.
Okay.
But essentially, let's just get it down. They get access, you know. They get access, and that's what it's all about. Is that they have the money. They can walk up to Pete Buttigieg and say, "This is what I want. Can you do this for me?" You know.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's willing to do it, then he's their guy, and they'll put their money into it. You know, however they do it. If you know, and the other thing is they don't actually have to give him the money. You know, they just set up a PAC. They can set up a huge PAC, you know, with millions and millions and billions of dollars, and they could spend it all saying nice things about Pete Buttigieg without him saying. If he doesn't say do this, then they're free to spend as much as they want. So you know, the truth is that Citizens United is the source for all this corruption.
Yeah.
That Supreme Court decision that said anybody can spend as much money as they want on any political campaign. You know, so long as they do it.
Bernie says that you have to bring people together, and we have to have.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was quite loud. Turn it down.
But that's the way it looks like today.
Yeah. So let me see.
Have Medicare for all. But Bernie says, and he says he wrote the damn thing, but he's unwilling to tell us what the damn thing's going to cost. The fact that we're in New Hampshire, a very level-headed group of people, look at the numbers. How much is it going to cost? Who's going to pay for it? It will cost more than the entire federal budget we spend now. More than the entire budget. The idea middle-class taxes aren't going to go up is just crazy.
I keep listening to this same debate, and it is not real. It is not real, Bernie, because 2/3 of the Democrats in the Senate are not on your bill, and because it would kick 149 million Americans off their current health insurance in 4 years. And let me say what else. Elizabeth wants to do it in 2 years. And Pete, while you have a different plan now, you sent out a tweet just a few years ago that said, henceforth, forthwith, indubitably, affirmatively, you are for Medicare for all for the ages.
The American people are ready. There's a historic majority right now. Even broader than what was available to President Obama a decade ago, there is now a majority ready to act to make sure there is no such thing as an uninsured American and no such thing as an unaffordable prescription. Just so long as we don't command people to accept a public plan if they don't want to.
We are spending twice as much per capita on health care as do the people of any other country. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that the healthcare industry last year made $100 billion in profit. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that we are wasting $500 billion a year trying to administer thousands and thousands of different plans. What Medicare for All will do is save the average American substantial sums of money. Substantial, be much less expensive than your plan.
Like several of the Democratic candidates, former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg gave what felt like a victory speech in Iowa last night before the results were out.
Well, let me see if
and
I
now
can
it looks
turn
like
that
he is
darn
in first
thing
place,
off.
according to.
Good Lord. Okay. Oh, well. Okay. Well, I just wanted to point out some of these things, and I hope that you guys found it beneficial. And I don't know. It's just very frustrating, you know, to see that politics is
well, you know, this revolution, this movement was bound to meet resistance, and it's gonna meet resistance all the way. They're gonna fight it tooth and nail.
But didn't you say
up and down?
Also, that's the other thing we were talking about, how Bernie's fighting both parties. Supposedly he's with the Democrats, you know, but they're not. They're not with him.
Really, what he's doing, he's not looking to join the Democrats. He's looking to take over the Democrats. The only way he can beat the Republicans is to take, you know, in this political system that we have, there's two parties. There can only be two parties. And with those two parties, you have to take over one of them to beat the other one. And this is the only way it'll work. This is exactly how Donald Trump did it. He's not from either party. He took over one party, and now it's his. This is exactly what Bernie has to do. And that's all. Once it's his party, they have to do what he says. Fuck him.
I guess.
Well, if the people say it's his party, it's his party. If the voters give him the party, it's his party. Now they can say the donors don't want him, but too bad. The people are the voters. The people are the party. But really, the people are not the party, and that's the other thing. The party kind of is its own thing.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe we can change that if we can get Bernie to grab it by the balls and rip it out.
Right.
That's the only way we're gonna ever fix that party is to get everybody out of there now. So it's kind of good that they're calling for Tom Perez to hit the road.
What about that whole thing with them,
Iowa.
Buttigige or whatever his name is? How he claimed that he had won because they already thought they had it fixed with the computers.
Well,
or that's what it looks like.
I'm assuming that's how he knew he had won. Before any ballots had been counted, somehow he knew he had won. The only way anybody could come up with such a ridiculous claim is to already have some kind of understanding that he expects something. That's what I'm thinking. He expected something that with no other evidence other than.
What about that whole thing though that Bernie had videotaped each place? Why couldn't they just use those videos to show which one had actually won?
Well, it's because there's 1,700 of them.
Oh.
So they had to go through all of them individually, one by one, and match up all the numbers.
So have they finished yet?
I believe they're up to the last one, and one of them is they're having trouble. I don't know if that's been settled or not. As of 4 hours ago, there was still one outstanding.
So with the thing with Trump, we knew that because they had so many in the House that there was no way that they would vote him, to be impeached. We already knew that was a given, right?
Right. Well, they were trying to make a case as much as they could. They were trying to get witnesses, but they didn't want to. The Republicans cleverly, voted not to hear any evidence because what they were really afraid of was that the voters were going to hear more evidence and really start leaning on them to convict. But since they were able to prevent any more evidence from coming out and being made public, they were able to get through without any more pressure.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like the pre and the pan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there really is no good guy here, except for Bernie.
They're all of them evil. Nancy Pelosi, and the only people that I care about in that place are the Justice Democrats. The people that have come in later, and Bernie.
Right. And Bernie, I keep saying it, and I say it for a long time, is that Bernie is America's chance at AMLO. Because at one time I said I wished everybody had an AMLO, like if everybody could have an AMLO, the world would be a better place. But
there's a danger also in relying too heavily on some hero or some savior to come along. But the idea that a person or that a movement can. See, that's really what's important, and I think he tries to repeat and remind everybody that it's a movement. It's not about him. It's not Bernie gonna get in there and do all these things that we want him to do. It's that we all have to pull together, and we have to keep the pressure on, and we have to do it, and we have to get on our phones and call each other, and we have to pressure our congressmen, and we have to do everything we can to for like utilities, public utilities. Why on earth? How on earth? How in the hell did it happen that public utilities are for profit? How on earth are these things for profit? How on earth can public utilities, light and gas be making putting money in the pockets of stockholders?
Yeah.
What are they going to do? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If everything is more expensive, it's because somebody has to make money on it.
That's right. Okay, well, I think
It's the same thing with healthcare,
Yeah.
The reason it's expensive is because somebody has to make a lot of money on it.
Right.
And as long as people have to make a lot of money on it, it's going to be very expensive. It doesn't. And who has to make a lot of money? The insurance company. And then the hospitals. The hospitals are all the insurance companies. It's all the same. It's all the same big hands grabbing all the money, all the and all the power. So you can't just say, "Well, I'll just go someplace else." Where the fuck are you gonna go? Fuck you.
Yeah. Well, it seems like everywhere is so corrupt. Right now, AMLO's fighting so hard to fix Mexico, but Calderon got a party and thinking about running again, one of the most corrupt, and so far it looks like
There's so much competition for the corruption.
Oh my God.
My God.
Yeah, but he was like,
they give Trump a run for his money.
But he was in cahoots with that Luna guy, with the cartel and all that. How can they let him run? It's ridiculous.
Donald Trump was in bed with the mafia for years. They've known
I
about
know.
that for years.
That's true.
Mafia. And you let him run. You made him run.
Oh God, don't make me sick. Yeah.
Corruption.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see if enough people can pull together and make this thing better.
Yeah.
Anyway, it really is.
I don't see anything on here really. Oh, there's Bernie. Let's see. Maybe there's something good. Let's see. Because they keep like blocking him, I really can't find anything on him.
But the beauty about Bernie is that he's been putting up with this bullshit his whole fucking career.
Yeah.
He turned a congressional seat that had been Republican for 30 years. He flipped it, went independent. He took the Senate seat that had been Republican for 100 years, and he flipped it. And they say he can't run against Republicans. He can run just fine against Republicans. Don't worry about Bernie.
Yeah.
He can run just fine against Republicans.
All right, I'm going to play
Party's numbers showing Buttigieg and Sanders in a virtual tie, with both declaring victory, and Sanders sharpening his attacks against Buttigieg, accusing him of being too cozy with Wall Street.
You're going to have to take on these people.
not take money from them.
Buttigieg has denied that charge and overnight tried to capitalize on his strong showing in Iowa.
Well, it's fantastic news to hear that we won.
President Trump watching it all closely.
Buttigieg or Bernie Sanders? Who's the bigger threat?
Everybody's a threat. I view everybody as a threat.
With just 4 days until New Hampshire, Kristen Welker, NBC News, Washington.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any...
All right. Well.
I'm going to go to bed.
Okay. Well, good night, bro.
Back to you later.
Bye. You too. Well, you guys see how annoying it is? I can't seem to find anything good in it. It seems like it's one they're trying to do everything possible to cheat again and lie and steal, and it's sickening. Okay. Yes, very frustrating and scary. Well, good night, you guys. I'm going to turn it off because it's sick. Made me really kind of sick. But I just got home from work and I wanted to do something to put in my 2 cents. Okay, bye.